Hi guys, Mr. David here. So there are a lot of really interesting jobs out in the world. Take mine for example. I get to read silly books with silly voices, do arts and crafts, and teach fun activities to kids. I love my job, and I can't believe it took me so long to find it. But in finding this job, I had a lot of other jobs working in kitchens at fast food restaurants, selling newspapers, selling insurance, working customer service, and even working as an actor. Now, along the way, I learned a lot, but I also met a lot of interesting people with interesting jobs. You know what? I want to share them with you. I want you to meet my friends and find out about their interesting jobs and what they did to get those jobs and what you can start studying if you want to do that in the future. Does that sound good? So, over the next few weeks, join us as we get to talk to my friends and find out about their really interesting jobs. I hope you enjoy. Growing up, music was always in my household. My dad was such a huge fan of music, loved just about every genre, read music biographies, just studied music. My grandfather, his father, was a musician in Branson, Missouri for a while. So this love of music has been instilled down into me. And as you know, I love acting and theater. Well, what I love in that is musical theater. I love singing and performing. Music is inside of me and inside of my family. So I gravitate to a lot of musicians, like tonight's guest. Tonight, I get to speak with Mr. Steve, the Music Man, who is a children's music performer and writer out of Nashville. I've known Mr. Steve for many years, and I had so much fun getting to talk with him. Now, I do want to warn, there is some sound issues, but I did my best to fix it, so you should be able to hear everything all right. Well, I hope you guys enjoy my fun conversation with Mr. Steve, the Music Man. Hey guys, I'm here with Mr. Steve, the Music Man. So, Mr. Steve, in your own words, what is your job?
My job is I'm a musician. I write music. Specifically, I write music for kids. I teach preschool music, and I've put 2 records out. I've put videos out. I've done play lots of live shows. I play birthday parties. I've hosted a kids radio show called The Early Birds of Mr. Steve here in Nashville, Tennessee. So I've kind of done if you make kids music, I've kind of done it all.
And how long have you been a professional musician?
About 15 years now. So I've been in the game a while, and I've been teaching preschool music for about 10 years. And I put my first record about 15 years ago.
Okay. And what did you have to study to go into music?
Obviously, it helps to know music, but you don't, the thing about making music is you can be classically trained and take lessons and all that stuff, but, you can also pick up a guitar or play a piano or not even have any of that stuff and be able to make music.
Sure.
Singing to yourself is making music. That's kind of like where music comes from, singing, just singing. So, um, if you want to make music, and don't worry about what it looks like or what it sounds like to what you think is the conventional way to hear it. Just do it for fun, and then you do it long enough. Some people are naturally gifted at music. Me, I'm not. So I kind of did the fake. I kind of did the fake it till you make it. So my advice would be just do it. Just keep doing
Sure.
it, and you'll get. It's like anything you do. If you keep working at it, you'll get better at it.
Now, you started with guitar, right?
Correct.
Started
Yeah.
playing guitar. Um, about how old did you start learning guitar?
I started learning guitar 97, so 7th grade. Actually, the first thing I learned was I was in saxophone. So I took saxophone
Okay.
in middle school, and then the next year after learning saxophone, I started playing guitar, and I've kind of kept up with it ever since.
Sure. Do you ever add some like old school saxophone into your music just to be like, I still remember a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think I could probably play it if I had it, but every once in a while, a sax line is definitely needed in tunes and on stage for sure.
Now, growing up, was there any artists or songs that you gravitated to that made you say, "Hey, I really like what they do. I would like to do that as well"?
Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time music really hit me was during I heard Paul Simon's "You Can Call Me Out" when I was a child, and I heard it. I always heard it, but I heard him on big speakers, cranked up loud. I remember it being like, what is this? This is it's just this, it just hit me hard. And my dad always played a guitar, and
Mhm.
it just kind of was always something around. And whatever anything my dad did, I wanted to do. So that's kind of where it really began, was my dad and probably Paul Simon.
Now, so you started learning around seventh grade,
Right.
learning to play the guitar. Do you remember when you started writing your own music?
Yeah, I mean, in high school, I'd always wanted to write, but then I had I was so critical of myself. I was like, this is not as good as this. This can never be as good. But I always kind of like tinkered around with stuff, but it was never anything I was really like, I wanted to show people. And then
Mhm.
once I went to college, I went to Belmont University to learn about music business in Nashville, Tennessee. And I went on the road after my freshman year tour managing. So I kind of got a job right out of the gate.
Sure.
And then I realized musicians have way more fun than the people that work for them. So I came home and started writing songs, and it just kind of like snowballed. Like I just wanted to write something to write it, and I was determined to write something. And Thanksgiving was coming up, so I was like, I'm gonna write a song about Thanksgiving. And I did it, and I was like, that's pretty good. I was like, all right, like the feeling that I got when I wrote that is the feeling that I get now when I write something I like.
Sure.
It was like this, like it was just this feeling of like I just created this out of nothing. And wherever that's a whole other conversation about where songs come from and
Yeah.
any of that stuff. But it the feeling that I got when I wrote that first song was what really was the spark to continue. And basically, um, I wrote probably 10 or 15 songs within a couple of months,
Hmm.
and that became the first record that I put out. And you can hear that now on iTunes. It's a great record, and I made it with all my buddies, and all those guys are great musicians, and
What's the
all
name of
that
that
stuff.
record?
It's a self record, just called Under Mr. Steve. So I have two records out basically, and that's Mr. Steve, the Music Man.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll make sure to put a link so people can
Cool.
find it for you.
Right. Yeah.
Now, my grandfather, you probably don't know this, my grandfather was a musician as well
Oh,
out
cool.
of Branson. Never really hit it big, just kind of a local performer. And the way he learned writing music was he just listened to his favorite country artists
Right.
and just transcribed their lyrics and realized the kind of the rhythm of the poetry and the how the stanzas go. Is how did you learn to write music? To
Well,
write lyrics?
there's a lot of ways to write music. I mean, that's one way is like just copy what people did and
Hmm.
get into the song or whatever. As your grandfather would, he would write the words and transcribe it and be like, okay, I get. You kind of break it down and you're physically writing it, and that helps a lot. You know, kind of what I did, and it's kind of always changing, but I learned that I have a good knack for writing like little jingles and little things. So when I'm walking and I see something like it just it just kind of comes, and it comes quick. And then
Sure.
I get my phone, I record it, and then when I need to write a song or when I'm feeling creative, instead of like thinking, what should I write about, I can just scroll through my recordings, and it feels almost like I'm cheating because I've come back and grabbed it and then work on it. Like it's a being creative is obviously a lot of fun, but it's a lot of hard work because
Sure.
whatever those initial ideas, you still have to craft it, and you still have to mold it, and you still have to like tweak things to make them available for people.
Absolutely.
You know what I
So,
mean?
oh, sorry. In the world of music and performing, what is your favorite thing about your job?
Oh, I mean, the best thing is making people happy. I get getting to play for children, and I've played all sorts of festivals, so um, you know, you're able to play live music that's fun, and people
Yeah.
dance, and kids dance, and adult parents get to see their kids dance, and I'm really lucky that I get, you know, I really try to make stuff that kids can't help themselves but dance and go
Hmm.
crazy, and a lot of the times parents are seeing their children um, dance like they're dancing for the first time, seeing them go buck wild or whatever. And
Sure.
I also get to go into a lot of, I go play a lot of birthday parties and celebrations. So like I get to be a part of these really amazing milestones in people's lives, and to be, you could say, be the soundtrack of that, and come in and provide. A friend of mine once said, you get to be a force of joy, and I think that is something that I really take serious. I do very silly things, but I take things very serious being silly.
Sure. When it comes to music, what would you say is the toughest aspect of your job?
Toughest aspect is you're doing this sometimes alone. You're creating, and you're going from one project to another project, and you sometimes um, you have to really believe in what you're doing.
Hmm.
You're not having a corporation behind you all the time, and you just it can be tough because you're writing by yourself, but the beauty of making music is I can collaborate with people, so you're not always
Sure.
by yourself. You just have to pick and choose how to go about your creative endeavors.
Now, when it comes to music, is there a do you feel there is a difference in writing for children as opposed to writing for adults?
Yeah, I mean, I think lyrically there's a little bit of a difference, but I think musically, no.
Mhm.
One great thing about kids' music is catchy, it's hooky. You get it once you hear it one time through, the song,
Sure.
and so I think you're able to be able to make something great for kids and adults is kind of where I try to find that middle ground. I would say I've made music. I've written like commercial music before as well,
Hmm.
and so it's like putting music to like.
Like on commercials and now, if someone came to you and said, "Mr. Steve, I want to pursue a career in music and writing and performing," what advice would you give them?
Believe in yourself. And the best advice I ever got about pursuing music is it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
I think the idea that you got to believe, and you got to keep going, and you got to work hard. It's not something where you can. I mean, a lot of people can dilly dally and take it easy, but you got to work hard. Like anything you do, you just got to work hard.
Sure, sure. And if someone came to you and said, once again, okay, I'm going to pursue this career in music, what would you tell them? Like, if you could go back and study a certain thing, what would you say? I wish I had learned this or studied this.
Yeah, I probably wish I had more of like a piano background.
Okay,
Because if you understand piano, you kind of understand music. So, I mean, even right now, I'm taking guitar lessons. I always want to get better at my craft, and
sure,
really look at what I do as something that is, just always, pursuing. I think too, you have to go back and look at do something to do better. I mean, I think probably learning another instrument or having some kind of fundamental teaching, just allowing myself to, to is allowing the space to be creative.
sure.
It's allowing it's allowing yourself to not be distracted by your phone, not be distracted by anything. You just kind of allow yourself to daydream and just be there, be available to make something. And that can be hard because there's so many just bells and whistles going off all the time.
Now, in all the songs you've written, which I'm betting there's hundreds of them,
Right.
is there a song that you that is your favorite that you are just super proud of?
Yeah, you should check out. So, I mean, you'll put all these links up. But I have a song that
Yeah,
I put out a couple years ago called "We Are Here for You," and it was an amazing collaboration of songwriting and recording, and it just came out really great. I'm really proud of that one, and I think it's a nice kind of hybrid of a kid song and a not a kid song.
sure.
It's a simple message, but I think it's a very strong one, and yeah, I'm really proud of that one. I made a record a couple of years ago called Earth Party, And there's some songs I'm really proud of on there. One's called "Trees Are the Hair of the Earth," and that's a fun one. And that it's sonically and production wise, it's a really great sounding record. And I think those are the two main songs I'm really excited about or proud about. I also wrote a song called "Pizza Party," but that's not out yet. But that song is killing. That song is great.
Sounds like, well, who doesn't love a good pizza party?
Yeah,
So.
I mean, for all occasions. So who doesn't love pizza? So I'm going to say this: one of the top 5 pizza songs of all time.
Hey, there you go. That sounds great.
Good luck.
Yeah. All right. So, I've asked this to some other people about their jobs. Are there people they look up to? Like, if they had a wall of fame of, in your case, musicians, wall of fame of who you look up to, and you're like, I love their work.
Right.
Who would be the top people on your wall of fame?
Yeah, if I could say my favorite musicians are Paul Simon, Prince. I love Prince.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the more I learn about Prince, the more I realize he is the top. And one thing I love about Prince too is he really evolved and looked back on himself and is very reflective. Stevie Wonder, I'm really getting into lately. Like, he's one of my favorite. I love Outkast.
Songs in the Key of Life is an amazing album.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. And I love Outkast. I love John Prine. The band called the Wood Brothers, they're amazing.
So you said the Wood Brothers?
So those are probably the Wood. Check them out. They're they're an amazing. They're brothers, and they're incredible. They're definitely worth checking out.
Sure.
So there's another band called Medeski, Martin and Wood, which is an instrumental band, which features one of the Wood brothers in. So they're an amazing jazz. I mean, you can call them a jazz band or whatever, but they're amazing musicians. And if you like instrumental music, that's a great band. But the Wood brothers are more you guess rock, folk, acoustic band. So check them out. Blues band.
Now, yes, you are a musician who writes children's songs, but what kind of classification of music do you consider yourself? Are you more rock influenced? Are you more blues, jazz? What area of music do you draw most from?
You want to know what I mean? Pop music. I mean, I just like hooks.
Sure.
If I could say anything, I would say I just like hooky music. So
yeah.
Whether you want to call that jazz or you want to call that hip hop or any kind of, I just like hooks. And I think, I really try to make stuff that is
good music, no matter what the genre.
That doesn't. Yeah. Right. And I really try to pull from all those because there's so much great stuff to pull from.
Yeah, absolutely. If someone wanted to look up Mr. Steve the Music Man, where are the best places to find you and find your work?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me on YouTube. Any kind of Spotify or Apple Music, it's going to be on there. So if you type in Mr. Steve the Music Man, you'll find all that stuff. Steve Music and MrSteveMusic.com. So Google Mr. Steve the Music Man, and a whole bunch of stuff will pop up. That's what I recommend.
All right. Well, I'll make sure to put some links, and probably not to just Google and say, yeah, just look them up. But I'll put some links so people can find you and check out your music.
If they want to find me, they can find me. They're not.
You're not going to make it too hard on them. Well, that's all I have for you. Hopefully this wasn't too painful. I know we had some technical issues, but...
What can you do?
Yeah, it happens. But thank you once again for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
All right. Well, you have a wonderful night.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Mr. Steve, the Music Man. It was so much fun getting to talk with him. He is such a fun and interesting guy, and I learned a whole lot about what it takes to be a professional musician. I hope you guys did too. Well, this is the last interview I have for this series. But if you enjoyed it and you want to see more interviews, let me know. Drop a comment, send a message. Let us know what you liked, what you want more of. If you know someone that you think would be a good guest, send me their information. Let me know and I'll reach out to them. Or if you have a job you've always wanted to learn about, let me know and I bet you I can find someone who has that job. All right, guys. You have a good night. Bye.
Yeah, trees are the hair of the earth. Trees were here before our birth. Trees are the hair of the earth. Trees are the hair of the earth. Trees are the hair of the earth. Earth. Magnolia tree, so pretty. Ain't nothing like those flowers you bring in the spring. And weeping willow, what a cool laid-back fellow. How did you get so mellow? Dramatic. Speaking of which, please don't cut my hair. Oh no. Please don't cut my hair. I find the way I am. I don't need no trim. Don't you dare cut my limbs. Just give me a hug, yeah, and we can be friends.
Don't say timber.
Yeah, trees are the hair of the earth. Trees were here before our birth. Trees are the hair of the. Trees are the hair of the. Trees are the hair of the earth. Earth. Go work. Bonsai tree in Karate Kid 3. That scene was so crazy with Miyagi going down the cliff to replant the bonsai tree. Please don't cut my hair.
Oh, please don't cut it, baby.
Please don't cut my hair.
I'm your mother, baby.
I find the way I am. I don't need no trim. Don't you dare cut my limbs. Just give me a hug, yeah, and we can be friends. Trees are the hair of the earth. Trees were here before our birth. Trees are the hair of the. Trees are the hair of the.